Hello, thanks for joining us.
Coming up on the programme tonight.
Surviving a terror attack. We speak to the dad accidentally shot by police as he barricaded a Manchester synagogue doors from an attacker.
There's no question that what happened to me was a miracle, and that for whatever reason, God decided that He still wanted me in this world. But alongside that is this survivor's guilt.
They wanted the chance to say goodbye. The family of a man who wasn't told he was terminally ill say they've lost faith in the health service.
A decade on from one of the most devastating floods to hit the northwest, but are we prepared if it happens again?
It's extraordinary.
And find out just what caused this out-of-this-world reaction as we sit down with Hollywood actor John Rhys-Davies.
Well, first tonight, the survivor's guilt felt by a victim of the Heaton Park synagogue attack.
Yanni Finlay spent almost 2 weeks in hospital after he was struck by a stray police bullet as he and others held the doors shut against attacker Jihad al-Shami on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur.
Well, 2 months on from the incident, in his first TV interview, the dad says the loss of two much-loved members of the community is hard to bear and says no one is to blame but the terrorist.
He sat down with our reporter Emma Sweeney.
We heard a very loud bang, which at the time we didn't know was the car going into the wall outside, trying to get through the gates, and at that point had hit Bernard and knocked him over. Very, very quickly, Alan rushed in, shouting, "Get the doors closed." The two doors at the back that were open. Adrian, who tragically lost his life on that day, was nearest to one of the doors, leapt up and got his door closed, undoubtedly saving lives. We then went out into the foyer to see what was happening, to see where we could help. First thing I saw was looking through the glass window, the small glass window on the door, was Bernard lying on the floor. I then looked around the foyer and I could see Andrew, who'd been stabbed. I didn't know that, but absolutely covered in blood. And there were around 6 or 7 people holding the doors closed while the terrorist was trying to get in. So I went to help. He had a very large knife, and he had what looked like a bomb around his waist. And he was doing his level best to get inside the synagogue.
The police came. Tell us what happened then.
So the whole incident took around 7 minutes, but at the time it feels much longer. So I remember saying, "Where are the police?" The police had been called, they were on their way, and as they came in, he ran down the steps of the synagogue towards them, and they opened fire, presumably worried about what could have been a bomb. And he went down. And he got back up, and again moved quite aggressively towards them, at which point they shot him again. And at that moment, I felt the bullet go into me.
It was a police bullet.
A police bullet.
How do you feel about the fact it was a police bullet?
The only person to blame on that day for what happened was the terrorist.
2 people didn't go home to their families that day. It must be difficult when you think about Adrian and Melvin and what happened to them.
Yeah. There's no question that what happened to me was a miracle, and that for whatever reason, God decided that He still wanted me in this world. But alongside that is survivor's guilt. I don't think I'll ever understand it. I think it will always be a part of me. The same bullet that didn't kill me, Adrian wasn't so lucky, and Melvin as well.
For so many years, there's been security outside synagogues. School children, when they go to school, it's routine for them to have security. I mean, is it fair to say that the community was almost expecting something like this to happen?
Yeah. It came as a shock on the day, but nobody was surprised that it happened. It's something that we've been expecting. We sit behind more and more walls and more gates. It's very sad, but we've got used to it.
What has got us to this point where you say those words?
Since October 7th, when Israel defended itself against a horrific attack, we've faced more and more anger, more and more hate, and it doesn't stop with just words, because it continues into actions, and it continues into what happened on Yom Kippur on that day.
Many of those who are critical of the Israeli government will be absolutely horrified by what happened here on the 2nd of October. How do we get to a place where people can have free speech and they can be critical and they can say what they like without that anger spilling out onto the streets here and targeting innocent communities like this one here?
As you say, people have a right to express their opinion, but think about what you're saying, think about the words you're using, think about the actions that you're carrying out. Is that adding goodness into the world? Is it adding light? Is it making the world a better place? Or actually, is it causing the opposite? How
have you been supported following this attack?
Not just within the community, but everybody has been incredibly supportive. Really, the care and love that have been shown to us have really helped us to heal in that way. And I think the culmination of that was the King coming, which was just an incredible experience.
You got to meet him?
I got to meet the King, yeah. I made him laugh. Can't remember what I said, but I made him laugh. He was just genuine.
We spoke to your son in the days following this attack on Granada reports, and he called you a hero. You are his hero.
I'm very proud of my kids. I think he spoke incredibly well on the day, and what he said was really nice. I don't think I'm a hero. We saw darkness on the day, and the only way to combat darkness is to bring light.
It's really powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yoni Finlay speaking to Emma Sweeney there. Well, meanwhile, a man has appeared in court accused of helping the synagogue attacker with reconnaissance on a UK defence facility. Mohammed Bashir has been charged with 4 terrorism offences. Prosecutors say the allegations are not directly linked to October's attack on the Heaton Park Synagogue. He was remanded in custody until the 12th of December.
Well, next tonight to the dad of 9 who doctors failed to tell was terminally ill and instead said he would be okay.
Yes, William Chapman, known as Sid, only discovered he had deadly lung disease when his GP, who thought he already knew, mentioned it during a phone call. He died 8 months later.
Well, now an investigation has found doctors at the Countess of Chester showed a worrying lack of accountability and have failed to learn from their mistakes.
His daughter Chantal says he should have been given the opportunity to say goodbye to loved ones. Anna Yosef has this report.
Terminally ill when his GP, who thought he already knew, mentioned it during a phone call. He died just 8 months later at the age of 58. Sid's daughter, Chantal, says if he'd known the truth earlier, he would have given up work and made the most of the time he had left with his family.
He worked up until he was given that diagnosis because he believed he was going to get well. So he had no reason to quit work. His mother and his siblings live in Northern Ireland because that's where he's from. He would have gone over if he would have been told that you were terminal and said goodbye to his mother, give her a hug, a kiss, and told her he loves her. He would have spent time with his children, his grandchildren, maybe gone on holiday. He would have had a choice to do with his life what he wanted to while he was still well enough.
The father of 9 had been admitted to the Countess of Chester Hospital in July 2021 with shortness of breath. In September that year, a junior doctor told him there was nothing to worry about and reassured him he'd be okay, despite not knowing if this was true. In November, the former soldier was seen by a consultant who noted in a letter to his GP he had pulmonary fibrosis, an incurable lung disease. But the consultant didn't send Sid a copy of the letter or tell him about his diagnosis, which they should have done. Has this eroded your trust in the NHS?
Absolutely. When you see a man that you've grown up with who has always been really strong and, you know, always been like a pillar in the family, just kind of reduced to the way that he became. It's devastating. And then you just lose faith, you lose hope in the system, and that the people that are meant to be there to help you, you never believe are going to be the ones that are going to cause you more harm.
An investigation by the Health Ombudsman found hospital staff showed a worrying lack of accountability and had failed to learn from the mistakes made in Sid's case.
It's a very sad case, and it is a case about somebody who deserved better at the end of their life. We do see a lot of brilliant practice on the part of the NHS, but when things go wrong, what we normally see is defensiveness and a failure to be accountable, and that is critically important when it comes to learning lessons so that the service can be improved.
In a statement, the Countess of Chester Hospital said, "We apologise unreservedly for the experiences of Mr Chapman and his family. We fully accept the findings and recommendations of the Ombudsman and will continue to embed the improvements." Sid's family finally have the answers they've been seeking, but still struggle with the shocking way he discovered his diagnosis. Anna Yosef, ITV News.
Thanks so much to Chantel for sharing their story with us.
Well, next tonight, into the floods which saw hundreds of homes evacuated, miles and miles of roads destroyed and people's lives frankly turned upside down.
Yeah, 10 years ago, the North West, especially Cumbria and Lancashire, felt the full force of Storm Desmond and the devastation it left in its wake.
The Kendal area saw some of the highest number of homes and businesses flooded, and since then the Environment Agency has spent £129 million on defences in the town, but the scheme still isn't complete.
Well, our reporter Fiona Marley-Patterson was there for us, reporting in the aftermath of Storm Desmond and in the years since.
I was here then. It is etched on my memory, wading through home after business, for some both. There weren't enough dehumidifiers or builders in Cumbria. The months, or for some years, battling to get back into their homes. And Parliament heard too. The amount of money needed seemed such a huge barrier at first. It blurred by comparison to the challenge of this town agreeing a plan. It spent years in planning. Storm Desmond brought this community together. This divided it. Huge local objections, chopping down trees to build 6 miles of wall, obscuring the views of the river. The debate of whether it would work. Then years of construction, traffic disruption, impact on businesses and everyone here. And yet, it's still not in. Kendal no better protected, really, than the day those millions of pounds were assigned to keep people safe. And here's why it matters.
My great friends had got in and they'd saved what they could, but there was just a horrible stench of mud. You've lost everything that you've put your heart and soul into. It was exhausting.
Just paranoid that the insurance wouldn't pay out, and then obviously we'd be stuck with tens of thousands of pounds of damage.
We worry about it every day when it heavily rains. They've gone through hell and back. Devastating that you know, oh, it's going to happen again and again and again.
Because Cumbria's largest flood defences are still being built. Kendal won't be fully protected until it's all done. At Gooseham Park, it's about controlling Stock Beck. In Storm Desmond, it couldn't get into the River Kent, so it flooded homes.
So this pump station will allow those waters to be controlled. They'll spill over an overflow chamber, and that will then be diverted into what we call a wet well, where we've got 3 fish-friendly pumps.
But we've seen in recent rainfall, I mean, there's a tree there in the river. People still aren't feeling very safe. Why has it taken so long?
It's been difficult working in that area, and you know, we do thank the community for their patience.
We are worse off at the moment because instead of having a soakaway, we've got a building compound with hard standing, and we feel very vulnerable.
Really grateful that it's happening, but just a bit worried about how long it's taken, and if we had another event of that magnitude, I don't honestly know how well protected the town would be.
But I just want to know when it's finished. Please tell me when it's going to finish.
This section is due to be completed in spring 2026. Smaller areas are complete, with some increased protection locally.
So here, New Road has its flood defences, but now that you're funneling the water to keep it into the river, you're also doing work to stop it from getting to Kendal at all, higher upstream.
That will give us our 1 in 100 year standard of protection that we're aiming for. We might want to bring on other flood storage areas in 20, 30, 40 years' time if we start to see those impacts of climate change becoming even more intense.
Now, this was going to cost about 76 million, but you're now on about 129 million.
We went through the COVID pandemic. War in Europe has led to significant inflation in the construction industry.
Waterside has seen some of the biggest challenges, putting deep piles into the ground to support huge stone-clad concrete walls, topped with 100 metres of glass panels.
It's a difficult to access area. We had to come across the river, build a temporary in-river working platform. The rock was much shallower than anticipated, and we're due to finish ahead of Christmas.
Now the end date is the end of 2027. Upstream work may be longer, but the date keeps moving as the cost keeps rising. Fiona Molly-Patterson, ITV News, Kendal.
Yeah, hard to believe it's 10 years, isn't it? Well, there's plenty more to come on the programme still, including...
Let's sit down with the Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones actor John Rhys-Davies.
And while we're not expecting a storm this weekend at least, we do have a powerful jet stream moving fronts across the Atlantic towards the UK. Find out what that means for us this weekend in the forecast.
Time for sport now, and Morecambe Football Club have been quick to distance themselves from a man who played a key role in saving the club. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, hi guys. This has come as a big shock for supporters. A man who was heavily involved in a rescue deal to save Morecambe Football Club has been sanctioned by the UK government over alleged links to terrorism in India. Gurpreet Singh Rahal was head of communications for the Punjab Warriors group, which bought the non-league club in the summer. He's alleged to have recruited and purchased weapons for militant groups. His UK assets have been frozen. In a statement, Morecambe and Punjab Warriors said an individual who previously held a consultancy role is no longer affiliated with either Morecambe or Punjab Warriors. The new independent football regulator says it will look into the matter urgently. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim has defended his decision to leave Kobbie Mainoo on the bench. The England international is yet to start a Premier League game this season.
Understand what you are saying. You love Kobbie. He starts for England, but that doesn't mean that I need to put Kobbie when I feel that I shouldn't put Kobbie. So it's my decision.
Well, next to the FA Cup, and the dream of reaching the all-important third round is just one win away for our two lowest-placed teams left in the competition. Macclesfield and Buxton play in football's sixth tier. That's the National League North. Both are eyeing up potential Premier League opponents as they try to make history this weekend. David Chisnall has been to see both clubs.
It's FA Cup football for Buxton and Macclesfield as our two lowest-placed teams prepare for round two. Buxton made it through to the second round thanks to the goal of the round from their captain Conor Kirby. His extra-time winner has been on repeat ever since he scored it.
I still watch it back now. My family's watched it loads, everyone I know has watched it loads. I've watched it so many times. I've been in the spotlight for about 4 or 5 days, which I haven't had in a long time, so yeah, it was nice. It was, I got hundreds of messages. It blew up over social media.
He'd actually asked to come off about 30 seconds earlier because he was getting cramp on his hamstrings and he was done. So we were actually going to make a substitution, and then the adrenaline kicks in. He picks the ball up and there was no cramp, and he was sprinting down to the bottom end when he was celebrating.
Well, not since 1952 have Buxton reached the third round of the FA Cup. They hope to make history at League Two side Cheltenham Town tomorrow and set up a potential tie with one of the Premier League big boys who went to the Cup in the next round.
Leading my players out at some of those fantastic grounds. That's the dream, isn't it? That's every young boy's dream, is to go and play at those grounds. But we can't take our eye off Cheltenham Town. Cheltenham Town there'll be a tough test. But look, listen, we're a full-time club. We'll be a tough test for them.
Over on the other side of the Derbyshire-Cheshire border, Macclesfield are also dreaming big. They look to see our fellow non-league side Slough and put their name in the hat for that lucrative third-round draw.
The FA Cup is obviously all about dreaming, but the prize money that's available, can make such a difference. And if you do get through to the third round and be lucky enough to play a Premier League, it's like a lottery ticket for a club like us. And you know, you can be talking, you know, in excess of anywhere between 500 and £1 million of money, you know, which for something like us, you know, it would be absolutely outstanding, and it would help the club for years to come as well.
It'll be unbelievable for the club, you know, to go and reach the third round when, you know, you can potentially go and meet the Premier League side. So that'll be incredible for the club, for the players, for myself. Hopefully we can get over the line and get into the third round.
Well, Macclesfield are into the second round for the first time since the club was reborn 5 years ago, thanks largely to their hat-trick hero Danny Elliott.
Same again will be brilliant, but you know, it'll be a different challenge. That was my third one at Macclesfield, my first in an FA Cup proper, so it was brilliant to take that ball home. Yeah.
Have you got it on pride of place somewhere?
I've got it at the bottom of my stairs, waiting to go. When I see my mum, it will go into her garage, along with my other balls. So yeah.
Even the downpours can't dampen the moods at these two as Buxton and Macclesfield prepare for what could be a monumental weekend for both football clubs. David Chisnell, ITV News.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsor of the Granada Sport Report.
Finally to Rugby Union, and Sale Sharks kick off their European campaign tonight. They're at home to Glasgow Warriors in their first pool match of this season's Champions Cup. It's a Glasgow side packed with Scottish internationals, but Sale boss Alex Sanderson is relishing the showdown.
You get to test your mettle and your depth of your squad against the very best. You get to see where you're at. We played them last year, got a little bit bullied if I'm honest, going up there. So, like, all of that just... I'm excited and relished by the fact that we get to welcome him to the core pack on Friday.
Sale fired up for this one tonight. That is your sport tonight, guys.
Yeah, good luck to them. Thanks, Mike.
And finally, to the Isle of Man, where Hollywood actor John Rhys-Davies has been reflecting on his career.
Yeah, he starred alongside Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones and played Gimli in The Lord of the Rings, but he's now setting his sights on a new venture, outer space.
Yeah, the 81-year-old is planning on taking a trip to the stars, as our Isle of Man reporter Joshua Stokes has been finding out.
John Rhys-Davies, great to see you again. How are you?
Wonderful. Health is good. Life is good, still thinking, still writing, and yes, nothing to complain about.
And still travelling as well, still going around the world and meeting fans and experiencing different amazing things, such as travelling to Spain recently to receive a great honour.
Yes, it was a lovely thing. Many years ago I used to film in Almeria. In fact, we did The Last Crusade in Almeria.
Indy, your father and Brody.
Where's my father?
They have them in the belly of that steel beast.
I made a few friends there, and I have a few fans there. So they made me their guest of honor and gave me the top prize, and they gave me a star in the pavement in Almeria. It's lovely. And I couldn't resist bringing in the copy that they gave me along as well. Isn't that nice?
We've been waiting for a long time for you to make your wish.
So you've got a new film coming called Starbright.
Yes, we started doing that at the end of 2015 and we finished it in 2016. It's a delightful story about a young woman who has lost her parents and is living with her grandparents. And she makes her wish upon the star, and lo and behold, who should turn up but the Archangel Raphael, perhaps a slightly unorthodox Raphael.
Please, don't scream.
We started talking about stars, but I believe there potentially might be a trip to the stars on the cards for yourself. What can you tell us about that?
I have been asked by a little group called Space for Humanity if I would be prepared to go up. It's extraordinary. It's exactly the same thing that Katy Perry did the other day. The only hope is that I do not, like the girls, come back screaming as we come down. And the idea is if you send an old man like me up and he comes back, he lavishes his wit and words on the glories of space. And in 10 years' time, when an old man goes up into space, nobody cares. It is common.
I know one of the other things you've spoken about is AI and the threats that AI poses, particularly to the creative industries. What is your view on artificial intelligence?
The impact of the new technology is going to put so many people out of work, but we don't recognize it. We all see the benefits of it, but we forget the fact that that's a number of people in the film industry are lost. There is already a digital film star. Her name is Tilly.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
3 seasons and a podcast.
She's very good and she's getting better. AI will take away my job. I am on the lowest branch of the tree that AI will be picking. That tree of abilities AI is going to pick. And I think it will do it quite quickly.
Precious. They stole it from us.
Now, just finally, John, we've heard that a certain Andy Serkis is preparing to take audiences back to Middle-earth in his new film, The Hunt for Gollum. And we're hearing some of the old cast may also be returning.
I haven't been asked. There are real problems. You know, that prosthetic makeup was really hard. Would I do it? I'd do it for Andy. But can't we use a little bit of AI, you know, to put the damn makeup on? And no, we probably couldn't do that. But I think it's wonderful. They were a marvellous cast, marvellous crew, brilliant production. There was only one grumpy old man in it, and I wore his boots every day.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that. But I bet the pointy ears is there. Oh, yes. He'll go back. Yes, because he's immortal.
Well, look, John, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
I'll try and edit that lot.
I love his voice. Time for the weather now. Here's Joe.
Mom, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. Welcome to the weekend, which weather-wise will be characterised by showers or longer spells of rain and some rather windy conditions. It's been very gusty around Irish Sea coast today, and that continues into this evening. In general, temperatures will be picking up above average for the time of year as we head through the next couple of days and nights, and it won't be as cold by night, certainly tonight. But low pressure dominates. At the moment, windy conditions, but the isobars will loosen up a little through tomorrow, continuing to feed spells of showery rain, with low pressure dominating, though, throughout this weekend and beyond. Tonight, really wet for a while. That rain being replaced, however, by showers during the early hours of tomorrow morning. Plenty of them, though, and some gusty winds continuing for our Irish Sea coast as we head through the night. Temperature-wise, as you can see, we'll probably avoid anything near frost or ice. 5 or 6 Celsius, the overnight low. On to tomorrow's details. The sun will be up at 8:12, setting at 3:51 tomorrow afternoon. For the northwest of England and the Isle of Man, from the word go, spells of showery rain, cloudy conditions, but perhaps skies brightening for a time through the middle part of the day. During the afternoon, further showers will feed in. It's breezy, not feeling particularly great. However, temperatures are picking up 10 or 11 degrees through tomorrow afternoon. More showery rain moves in tomorrow night, I'm afraid. Cater for showers or rain tomorrow and again on Sunday. Lots of cloud around to end the weekend and spells of rain. Briefly a little brighter on Monday before showers move in yet again. Low pressure dominates next week, so it's unsettled.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
That is all we've got time for tonight, but before we go, there's just enough time to show you this.
Yeah, meet Asiatic lions Nile and Shanti, and they're 2 of the world's rarest and have just arrived at Chester Zoo in the hope they'll save their species from extinction.
Conservationists say the pair have formed an instant connection. They are adorable, aren't they? We shall see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.